Okay, let's dive into the absolute circus that is Donald Trump's tariff policy. The man's been flipping faster than a short order cook at the Waffle House. And his latest stunt, the so-called 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs, has everyone from Wall Street traders to Twitter warriors losing their minds. Announced on Truth Social, because where else do you drop economic bombshells these days, we found out that today is Unliberation Day. Trump's giving the world a timeout. Sort of, except for China, who's still getting walloped with a 125% tariff. Because in Trump's words, they've been ripping off the US and the world. Okay, so where do we start? Trump's tariff rollout has been incoherent. One day he's slapping tariffs on everything that moves, the next he's hitting pause like he's got a grand plan. Which it doesn't look like he does. At least for the US economy, that is. The markets, after Trump's initial tariff threats, got nervous. The S&P cratered 4.8% and the Nasdaq plunged 6%. The worst day since 2022. Economists were sounding the alarm with $2,100 in extra cost per household, layoffs looming, and GDP shrinking. CNBC's talking heads were practically hyperventilating, wondering if we'd finally elected a president who'd let the markets crash to sane levels. It was getting grim. But then, Wednesday afternoon, Trump announced a 90-day pause. And suddenly, the markets started ripping again. But Steve Leisman was quick to share the frustration many of us felt.
And now you could argue, after withering punishment from markets, from bond markets, trillions lost across the globe, the president, he didn't just flinch, but he ducked. I will point out, there are still trillions lost from that day.
Now, as you can imagine, social media has been a perfect mirror for this bipolar madness. Take Dave Portnoy. 2 days ago, he was whining about losing money.
To be back to losing $7 million. I haven't even looked. If I had to guess, I'm down in these last 3 days, probably close to 20.
Looking like he just might sob into his pile of cash from shilling gambling products. Fast forward 48 hours, and he's bragging about making it all back.
I'm up 8.2 million today.
Then there's the mega crowd, bending over backwards to defend Trump's every zig and zag. This meme nails it. Trump supporters ping-ponging between blind loyalty and cognitive dissonance as he flip-flops like a fish on a dock. The mega folks are the definition of cringe. It's like watching a dog chase its tail. You're not sure who's dumber, the dog or the guy egging it on. Bill Ackman, the hedge fund billionaire, is the poster child of why people hate Wall Street folks. Days ago, he was melting down on Twitter, predicting the apocalypse. Now, he's kissing the ring, tweeting this was brilliantly executed by Trump, saying it was a textbook art of the deal. Subtle as a sledgehammer, Bill. Anyways, let's cut the crap. Crony capitalism aside, it appears that this whole tariff tantrum is about China. Trump's got a vendetta against Beijing, and he's not hiding it. That 125% tariff on China is a big statement. It's almost a declaration of war. And you know what? Trump is not entirely wrong to want to slam the brakes on countries exploiting cheap labor and dodging trade rules. But at this point, it's hard to give him credit. China's economy is a juggernaut. I got into this yesterday. The GDP gap looks big because of dollar math. Marking-to-market services like healthcare and finance in US dollars inflates things. On a per-unit basis, China is objectively bigger. They produce 3 times the cars the US does, they guzzle 10 times the steel, 20 times the cement, and over 2 times the electricity. Oh, and they're also sitting on $759 billion in US debt. That's not chump change, it's leverage, and might explain the recent surge in the 10-year Treasury yields. And even more confusing, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was quoted today as saying that allies should step up to battle China with the US, which is laughable after Trump's spent the last 3 months treating these allies like punching bags. It's like asking your neighbor to help you fight a bear after you slashed their tires. Good luck with that, Scott. Not everyone's buying the hype, though. Peter Schiff, everyone's favorite uncle at Thanksgiving who won't stop predicting the end of the world, calls this a bear market rally and says sell now, reminding us that 10% across the board tariffs remain in effect, and there will be heightened risk over the next 90 days. Okay, now the juicy stuff. Trump's self-dealing. He announced a meme coin just days before taking office, the perfect conduit to accept bribes. He's also holding meetings where people pitch him ideas for a fee. It's like Shark Tank for crony capitalism. The public should be pissed, but are in an apathetic state of confusion. And the timing? Suspicious as hell. He tells everyone it's a great time to buy Truth Social, then hours later, bam, announces the pause. As Ku Tang on Twitter puts it, you don't have to be a brilliant economist to realize that this was market manipulation and the rich just got richer. But Trump doesn't get what the big deal is.
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know? They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit.
Okay, so how do we make sense of all this? I bring you Michael Lewis.
He's really uncomfortable with trust. But if he eliminates trust between people, he's leveled the playing field. These trade relationships, trust relationship. Is Canada going to feel the same way towards us ever again? No. I mean, it's hard to blame them.
Trump's 90-day tariff pause isn't a reset. It's a demolition derby for global confidence. Markets may rally on hopium, mega fans may spin his flip-flops as 4D chess, and billionaires like Ackman may praise his brilliance once their portfolios rebound. But the damage is done. Trust in allies, in markets, in leadership itself is the collateral damage. His policies are less about economics than about gaslighting the world into his nihilistic playground, where every relationship is transactional and every promise is a rug pull. The mega crowd cheers the chaos, mistaking instability for strength, while allies like Canada and Mexico side-eye the US like a drunk friend who keeps borrowing their car. Meanwhile, Trump's meme coin grift and market-timed announcements like pumping his own ventures while dangling tariff pauses prove Lewis's point. Trump doesn't just exploit distrust. He commodifies it. The next 90 days won't fix this. It'll just be another act in the circus where the ringmaster profits off the clowns and the audience pays for the popcorn. As Lewis put it, Trump's genius lies in making dishonesty the default. He's so untrustworthy when he says something true, it's like an accident. And in this accident-prone economy, the only certainty is that when the next crash comes, the mega parachutes will be silk-lined. And the rest of us will be left sifting through the wreckage of a world where trust was the first tariff to fall. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe. And also, guys, if you got stories you want me to cover, let me know in the comments section. Thanks for watching, everyone.